Today I'd like to talk about some new INFOhio resources that are in the area of STEM. And when I started researching what does STEM stand for, science, technology, engineering, and math, I thought, you know what? That's really what I did, because home ec turned into family and consumer sciences, and we covered pretty much all those areas. So I think I could probably get certified as a STEM teacher these days. So because I would use a lot of the resources that are in those areas. So
and Judy, I got to throw in there, there's STEAM, which adds the arts to that.
Exactly.
And everything you're doing, almost anything can incorporate arts as well, creativity and design and construction, then which would certainly have been something you did in your, what we used to call home economics.
Well, and then you add in the R, make it STREAM, and it's adds the literacy aspect to it. So yeah.
Yes.
Okay, getting right into the INFOhio, and so let's just bring my screen up, and the STEM resources are listed in both the grades 6 and 8, 9, and 12. So it doesn't matter which one you go into, you're going to get the same options. And remember, this year they have gone to using a left to right in rows instead of columns as far as alphabetical. So let's just go with the Gale ebook STEM and Career Collection. And I picked the one Understanding Inflation right there, because I thought that's a topic that's really hot in the news, is inflation. And the books are full text. They can do the text to speech option. They can change the size of the text in each one. And I again love the books that they chose have things that have examples of students. They are starting with a gal named Amani, and she's talking about her lemonade stand and so forth, and all the examples bring up her issues with supply and demand and so forth. Again, these books can all be downloaded. There's over 170 books that deal with the STEM topics. You can go backwards to going back into the whole collection. You can go through this way, or you can search whatever, but they're all with examples that students in grades 6 through 12 would, find very applicable to what their situation is, rather than an adult, older person's situation. So that's the Gale ebooks on STEM and career. The other collection is one from Learn 360, which is a subscription service that NWOET has offered schools all across Ohio. So I am going to switch into Safari. Okay, looking at the Learn 360 collection.
So Judy, tell me, because there's different kinds of Learn 360 out there. What is this particular Learn 360?
This Learn 360 has the STEM and the career choices, as opposed to their full collection, but you can search the different areas of STEM. So if you wanted to search earth science, or you wanted to just do engineering, those titles would come up. So
these are a set of free resources from the InfoBase Learn 360 collection, kind of a subset that's totally free. They have a paid version. This is the free stuff.
Right. I mean, you still get some of the features of the full version, as far as you can do advanced searching, and you can search for grade levels, but you also can search for just those careers that are in STEM or career, like you can see that there's some, those were the engineering ones. So if you do applied health and you want to view the results for health, you can. So it is definitely a limited collection. as opposed to over, I'm not sure how many they have now in the entire, if you bought the Learn 360 subscription, but there are many extra features in that that are not included. This is just meant to be a very limited collection, but it includes the STEM areas and careers. And that is in your INFOhio. If you go into the home, it's in the 6 to 8 and the 9 to 12. And it is down here, right here. So STEM and career video collection. Okay.
And Judy, I'm going to mention one more collection, and we can maybe show that a different week. And that's the INFOhio Open Space collection of STEM and STEAM resources. And again, all of these are materials that you can use for free in the classroom, at home.
Right.
Many
And
with resources you can download to student devices.
right. And the open space is shown in the educator, correct, Roger? Right there it is. And I went to the educator button. So right there is open space and all kind of lessons. Open space is, do you want to describe what open space is, Roger, for
Yeah,
anybody?
so it's an Ohio-based collection of resources. Everything in there is free, available to all Ohio teachers, students for use in the classroom and at home. And there's thousands and thousands of resources in there. And like most of the places, you can sort by grade level, by content area, and so forth. But if you just, Judy, go ahead and just type in STEM, STEM. And by the way, this is a search trick. If you don't find much under STEAM or STEAM-R, try just STEM, STEM. A lot of times the search engines have a broad range of resources categorized under STEM, as opposed to the STEAM with the arts, or the STEAMR, where you get reading and literacy included. And they all can be used and adapted, even if not explicitly stated, as with the arts and certainly with literacy instruction as well. But many, many resources in the open space as well. So the INFOhio open space, the InfoBase, Learn 360, and again, similar names. If you're not sure, you get confused, you can't find them, hey, just send us an email or call us at NWET and we'll help you find the stuff that you need.
Okay, so the ones for students in particular are found in grades 6 to 8 and 9 to 12, but the open space is on the educators. Not the students couldn't go in there and search for resources, but those resources are lessons that teachers could use that have links to resources. So, and the last one I want to show is one that is not associated with INFOhio, and that is the digital tools that Google. If there's two words that I had to say if I were teaching, I would definitely make sure everybody knew about, besides INFOhio, and that is Google, especially Google for Education, those applied digital skills. There used to be about 50 lessons when it first started. Now there are over 200, and a lot of them deal with the STEM topics. One of the ones that I thought was interesting was calculate probability with Google Sheets. And all these lessons are video based as far as here are all these little videos showing how to use a spreadsheet to calculate probability. And there's a lot of other ones as far as using spreadsheets that I think students would very much benefit if they knew how to do it. And this is kind of like a YouTube for using spreadsheets to calculate probability. I mean, they aren't YouTube videos, they're made by Google, and there's all these lessons that are free for teachers, especially if they're doing blended learning. Let's say they're not meeting every day in class, they might assign one of these lessons. There's a quiz associated with it, there's extensions that can go along with it. So just remember that, check there if you need some work for students to do. You don't have to create it yourself. You can look at it and use it for your teaching to enrich the students in these STEM areas.
Cool.
Very good. Very good.
Okay, we'll stop sharing and
Yeah, I
back.
think by far your resources are more superior than what I'm about to show, but it does include physics, chemistry, math, science, simulations. So I'm gonna share my screen and show you guys the simulations. Hopefully all the animations will show up. It's and this link will be on our resource page along with the other links that Judy's talked about. But it's PHET, P-H-E-T, Interactive Simulations from the University of Colorado Boulder. And this is the all simulations page. So when I go up to simulations, I just select all, but you can narrow them down in the search over here by physics, chemistry, math. But also when you go to all simulations, they have on the left-hand side that you can select that you only want physics, chemistry, and then you can break it down, math concepts, math applications, earth science, biology. And then you can choose which grade level. And then compatibility, automatically they have HTML5 and HTML5 prototype selected because most devices are HTML5 now. But it's nice that you have the option of Java still. But most devices probably won't play those because all of them have been HTML5. So it's awesome that they've updated HTML5, but they also will be compatible with some old devices that use Flash still in Java. And then here's the accessibility options. And I don't know if you guys can see when I hover over each of those, it brings up a pop-up window that says that if it has the keyboard on it, that it will allow traditional mouse and like if you have a touch screen, touch inputs, so the students can engage with them with the mouse and that kind of stuff. And the majority of those are keyboard ones. Then they have, you can use a screen reader. You can use voiceover. You can use sound and sonification, which will help with the experience for the students on certain devices. Standard touch, gestures, mouse controls, and keyboard shortcuts. So they can zoom in, change text, that kind of stuff. And then voicing is the uses the web speech for the voice simulation information. So you can choose it based on accessibility. I basically didn't narrow it down to anything, but I thought this first one would be good to show. It is in a prototype and has natural clicking things. If you guys can't see anything, just let me know. And I can click on each of these down here. There's teaching resources associated with it, like how to teach it in your classroom. But I'm going to show you the the simulation. And so I'm going to choose 10 and it shows the word of what I have here. And it simulates as I click, and then it'll even show you the tens frame. So I'm going to see if I can go up. Nope, it only goes to 10 and then I can choose 20. And then, so down here, I'm going to choose 20. So I could go up to 20 and it's going to show the numbers. And then it has an animal. I could change it to apples. And then it'll let me go up. Now watch the tens frame. It shows me that it's one set of 10 and then 2 ones. It shows me the word. And then I was messing with the greater than, less than. I'm going to show those. But this is just one of the examples of the math ones. I can also turn on the graph in the middle, turn that graph off, put them in a more linear fashion.
I'm just going to throw a comment in here. I love videos and I certainly love teachers doing things, up at the display, but these animations I think have a real value. And, my background is in teaching the sciences primarily, and for science concepts, especially animations where you show molecules moving or items falling or whatever it might be. I think the graphical animation, it gets rid of all the distracting background and really lets the kids focus on what's going on here. But at the same time, using the animation, like you just demonstrated, Tanya, you don't spend a lot of time coming up with the next iteration or the next example. You just click and, oh, this is equal to, and you click again. Oh, this is greater than, and you have a very visual, very easy to understand illustration really, really quickly. So I love these kind of simulations and animations as a strategy for teaching. Don't see them very often in the classroom, really, when we're out there. And I think it's a great, great tool, well worth looking at. And just sort of a side benefit, I know no one likes talking about state tests, but these animations oftentimes are structured and designed in a way that looks very similar to some of the questions you see on state tests, where you have to look at an image or a graphic or a chart and then interpret the results. This helps prepare kids for state testing, because a lot of times these look like the images they'll see on a state test. So kind of an added bonus.
And what I like, Tanya, is I don't think there's any advertisements coming up, because on YouTube, if you don't have a paid subscription, there are some great videos, but there's those ads that are so annoying.
Yeah.
And so this is
Can you click on Molarity? Well, you have that's a perfect example of one that I just love. Judy, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt
No,
you.
I'm just saying that obviously this is a University of Colorado. There are no advertisements going to interrupt your instruction or the students' learning.
Yeah. And again, to do this as an experiment or a demonstration takes forever. And I might begin my instruction by doing a real life demonstration, but then you can just illustrate all of the different kinds of, and in this particular case, how it will precipitate out as the concentration becomes greater, and just things like that are, time consuming and oftentimes difficult to show in the classroom. You can show very, very quickly here.
Yeah, and you don't have to get out all of these chemicals to be able to
Right.
demonstrate that, and then the students can engage with it in a way that they want to.
And this is a little geeky, but so this is a cobalt chloride example. And if you just click there, let's change to a different chemical and go to the potassium permanganate, for example. And then, yeah, very
You
bottom.
wanted that one.
The bottom.
Oh.
The bottom.
Oh, there it is.
There you go. Okay, so go ahead and there you go, and I'll bring it way down. And there, see, look at that. It shows how it precipitates out in a way that's really easy and obvious to the students. So, and I can, like you just said, I can show a dozen different chemicals in 10 minutes, where it would take me 2 or 3 lab days to illustrate that. And then you turn the kids loose to actually do a lab with one of the, relatively safe solutions, and it's great. So
Exactly. Yeah, I think it's kind of neat, and teachers love using simulations to demonstrate and show the way that it's going to be interacting, and the fact that the kids can engage with it, or the teacher can engage with it on a touch screen or Clever Touch or interactive whiteboard or something like that. So
yeah, and with those various systems, oftentimes they will include links or a resource library that has simulations as part of the tools that come with that particular display device. So check that out in your content area.
yeah.
Awesome. I had not seen this before. This is great.
Yeah, I like it. I just clicked on university level because I was curious about how many they had. They have quite a few that are at the university level,
And I'm
or
assuming
considered
these
university level.
work
And
well
for
on-
high school, go ahead, Judy. I'm sorry.
I'm sure these work well on touchscreen Chromebooks. That would be awesome.
Yeah, I was
And when you
thinking that
mentioned
too.
university level, one of the things that I struggled with is high school chemistry and physics teachers at the especially at the higher grade levels, juniors and seniors. It was really difficult to come up with good, meaningful experiences that would help the students transition to college level learning. And here's a resource that will help with that very issue.
Exactly. Yeah, and like we said, all of the resources that we've talked about today, we'll have them on our resource website, which you'll see on the link right there on the screen. You can go to that one. And then if you have any questions or want any other additional resources or have trouble navigating the ones that we've offered you, then you can email us at the emails that are at the end of this recording as well. Reach out to us anytime. So if you need any kind of professional development specific about integrating technology into your classroom, instructional design using technology, then we're more than happy to come out and do that. So we really appreciate you hanging out with us today, and we look forward to connecting with you and sharing more of our resources. All right, thanks.
Bye.